So what's the tension for gentrification between wanting to build up an area to make it look nicer, more modern, everything is fixed up, versus leaving a part of town to be a dilapidated mess? So there's kind of a good, a bad, and an unwanted part of all this. The good part is, well, it feels so much nicer. It raises the property value because more people want to live in a place that's newer and nicer and everything's functional and everything looks more upgraded and updated. More people generally want that kind of a property than want something that's older and in disrepair. Now, some of the difficulty here, and this is where a little bit of the tension comes in for gentrification, is when you do that and an investor will pour in money in order to really rehab a property. Sometimes they'll get grants and stuff like that from governments to make it more worth their while. But typically an investor is going to want to go in, they're going to want to rehab a significant chunk of a neighborhood. And when they do that, they usually will raise the rents. So for an old dilapidated property, you might charge $800 to say a month in rent per unit there. Once you fix it up and completely get granite countertops in there, and you've got HVAC systems instead of swamp coolers, and you've got brand new windows and insulation, everything is really nice. Now you're looking at charging way more. Say that maybe those units, instead of $800, now they're going to charge $1,200, maybe $1,500 a month, because it's so much nicer. Not just that building, but the whole feel of the area is a lot nicer. So they can raise all the rents up. Now that sounds great, right? A lot of people would love to rent a unit in the northwest part of Bakersfield or the southwest part of Bakersfield. But what happens to the people that were living there that they could only really afford the $800 a month? And so they kind of have to live in places where the rent can be that low, and they can justify that. And that's usually these older properties that have more issues. Well, those people are willing to live with those issues because they can pay a lower rent in exchange. But when someone comes in and rehabs everything and then raises the rents like crazy, it displaces them a lot of times, and they have to go find somewhere else to move. This is the struggle that a lot of investors have with. They want to do something really good for the neighborhood. They really want to help people live in a higher standard of living, but then they also have to deal with the fact that the upgrades usually come with more money, which can also displace them. So there is a difficulty there that all investors have to think through when they do that.